Well, there she is. I literally feel like I'm the last person to open my maker, but I'm excited to open it today. And I'm not only going to open it with you guys, I'm going to create a project. We're going to cut 4 materials, 2 different fabrics, burlap and leather, and we're going to put a project together too. So I'm going to take this guy out of the box and we'll look at it. This is cool, a box that says let's get started. So we'll put that aside in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get the Cricut out and we'll put this aside before we do anything else. We'll look at it. It came with 2 mats. It came with a light grip cutting mat, and it also came with a fabric mat. Super cool. So here she is, still wrapped up. The power cord still in its packaging. Let me get that out of there. Let's break the seal on this guy. This is the most fun part to me, unveiling it. Oh, look how pretty. Is it a guy or a girl? I don't know. I have to decide, because I always call things with some sort of gender, apparently. You guys, not only does it have that on it, it also has another plastic protector on it. So let's pop that and take that off. Wow, really, really well packaged. Here it is unpackaged. It's heavy. It's much heavier than our other machines. I mean, really, it is, I think, mostly metal constructed, so that may explain that, but it's really heavy. And to open it, you just lift the top. It'll actually do its own thing. Look at that. First time I've seen it. That's a little slot for your phone or your iPad. And we want to make sure we take this out because that'll mess us up in the future. That's a little packaging. But look how pretty it is. These 2 kind of deep wells are nice. And this has a little pad down in there, maybe rubber or silicone for the tools. Still has the little box, the little drawer with the magnetic strip for extra blades. Super cool. No dial though. We'll have to learn about that. So inside the Let's Get Started box, this is the first time I've seen it. I did open the box, just the edge of it. But we get an envelope that says materials for your first project. Look how nice this is. This is like the Academy Awards, the envelope, please, with metallic on it. How pretty. And then, oh, look at this. A Cricut maker. Is this a welcome guide? What's included in the box? This is nice, y'all. That's cool. We'll look at that in a second. And here's the blade. This is the rotary blade. Oh, it's heavy. I'm surprised. I wasn't expecting that. It's a little weighty. It's got the gear on it. Let's open it up. Now, I've heard to be careful because this blade is sharp. So I'm going to grab it from the top. And I'm not going to turn that gear. I'm going to make sure I leave that gear alone. Stay away from that. But look at that with the blade inside of it. So there's the rotary blade up close. Pretty cool. I'm going to be careful with that. I don't want to touch myself and get a cut. So I'm going to put that back away. And put that down. Let's move this out. Oh, is there anything else? I don't think so. Yes, there is. Look, a marker, our cord to put it to our computer, our USB, and our warranty information. Cool. I'm going to put that back in there and put this box away. So let's open the envelope, please. And by the way, I want to tell you, this reminds me, I'm doing a giveaway. So the information for the giveaway will be in the description box below. Good luck. I hope you win one. All right. This is our materials. This is so pretty. Oh, look how cute. These are some sample materials. Here's some fabric. We're going to cut some of this today, but I'm going to cut a bigger piece for our project. This is cardstock, some blue cardstock. And this is more cardstock, textured cardstock. Cool. So we have lots of things there we can sample. But we're going to do a real project. Let's get started. So here it is, all plugged up. The first time I'm turning it on, I'm going to let you see what it does. There you go. It's on. That's it. This blade comes in the machine. You already have this one in there. So this is for the materials we've always cut with our Cricuts. You know, our paper, our cardstock, our vinyl, our iron-on. That's what this is for. And I'm going to store it right here. So I always have it. And this guy, I'm going to take it out of its packaging. Just like so. And the plastic section on this side needs to be to the front. These gears need to meet on the inside. And that'll make sense when you see it in person because you can see where that kind of drives in the back. So I'm just going to sit that in, close this side down, and then lock that around it. Cool beans. All done. I'm going to save this little container. I have heard from friends of mine that you need to save this so you can have something to store it in. There is a blade storage container coming, but this works really well, so I'm just going to save it. I'm just going to stick it right over here, maybe in this one, so I've got it. So these are the fabrics. I'm going to use this faux leather. I'm going to use this for the leaves, haha, right? I'm going to use this for the pumpkins, again, haha. This is just cotton. I always call this quilter's fabric. Like this is just regular old cotton fabric with a print on it. I'm going to use these 3 colors for my banner pieces because I wanted my banner to look kind of hodgepodgey is a good word for it. And notice I've already got this white on the back. That is Heat and Bond. Let me show you what I used. So this is the one I'm using, and it comes in a roll. This is Heat and Bond Light. I didn't feel like I needed anything very heavy for what I'm doing, so this is just the light one. And I bought 4 yards of it just to have in my stash, but I didn't use anywhere near that. So this is what I'm using. And I went ahead and I heat bonded it on using the EasyPress, which we'll see the EasyPress in a few minutes. I used the EasyPress to go ahead and bond this on. Okay, guys, so now we're on my Cricut design space, or actually we're at Cricut.com, and I'm going to head up here to where it says design in the top right corner and click that. And I have already created the project I want to do today. I did this ahead of time because I wanted a banner for my store where we have our classes and things like that, and I thought this would be super cute, and I want to use a bunch of different materials. So I created this banner, and I've made it a public file, and I used images from Access to do it, so you'll be able to use this as well if you have access. You might can do it if you don't have access, but I don't remember if I used all free images or not. I could have, but I can't remember. So I will share this in the video description. So if you want to make this little happy fall banner, you can. Now I have laid everything out on the screen for me, and I did this so that I could pick my fabric. And let me show you what I mean by that. See how these guys are brown? This I'm going to do in burlap. There's a burlap that I love that has a bonded back to it, and I wanted to cut it in my other Cricut, my Cricut Air, and it wouldn't cut. So I'm going to see if the rotary blade will cut it. So I'm excited to try that. So this is going to be burlap. These guys, I decided I wanted 3 different fabrics. So I just did them like this to give my brain kind of a way to understand it. So I knew to pick out 3 fabrics for these guys, and the same here. Then these little guys, I wanted to be different colors. So I chose 1 fabric for leaves and 1 fabric for pumpkins. And notice that all of the colors are already lined up for you. So let me show you what happens. When we say make it, when I get to the screen, you'll see that all of my colors are separated onto banners now. So you can see I've got that. So like mat number 2 is all my pumpkins. Mat number 3 is 1 color of my fabric. Mat number 4 is my burlap. Number 5 is burlap. Number 6 is burlap. Number 7 is going to be my leaves. Number 8 is another color of fabric, and number 9 is another color of fabric. Now the way these are laid out, it looks like I might could get 2 of these from my 12 by 12. I'm just going to make 1 for today. Notice here too, all of my letters have kind of bunched up here and they're, not in order. I'm okay with that because I'm going to be heat bonding these together. So I'm fine that they're cut kind of funny and saving space. So we're going to get started. I've got my rotary blade in. So I've taken the cover off of my fabric mat. Okay, I'll lay it this way so you guys can see it better. There we go. And what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to peel the heat and bond backer off. See how with the heat and bond you peel the adhesive protector away? I'm going to peel that off. I don't think it's going to matter. We'll see if it does. I'll know next time. But again, this is the first time I have used this machine. Okay, so the leather is on. This is a sticky mat. I'm going to load it into the machine. It takes it all the way in and then brings it back out. So you want to make sure you have plenty of clearance on both sides of your machine. Ooh, it's getting ready. I'm excited. So I need to select my Cricut device here. I'm going to do the drop down and select Maker, and I'm using my USB cord because I'm sitting right next to it. I have not paired it yet. I'm usually pretty lazy about that. It says, congratulations, your machine comes with a collection of free images and projects, as well as a 2-week free trial to Cricut Access. Cricut Access Standard unlocks a huge library of images, fonts, and ready-to-make projects in Cricut Design Space. Plus, enjoy 10% off all Cricut.com and Design Space purchases. So I don't need to do this. Well, I'm going to click accept gifts because I do accept them, but I was already aware of all that. Plus, I'm already a Cricut Access member. Oops, it sent this out, so we're going to put it back in. Oh, I need to update my firmware. I'm not surprised. This is the first time I've ever plugged in the Maker, so that doesn't surprise me. So my firmware is now up to date, so I can continue. Now then, I'm going to set my material. I'm assuming I can set my material for each mat. Let's hope that's the case. This is faux leather, so I'm going to click that. Oh, it tells me to load the fine point blade in the clamp, so I don't need the rotary for this. So let's put that blade back. I should have known that because I used to cut the leather with my other machine, so that makes sense. And now I'm going to press the little Cricut head and tell it to go. Okay, I'm going to unload the mat. Now, you remember how I told you I put the heat and bond on first? Here's why. The letters I made were really thin letters, and I didn't want to have to try to heat and bond these later. You'll see as I pull this away. So now these little thin letters are going to already have the heat and bond material on the back, and I won't have to try to iron those down to that heat and bond in those little places. So there's all my letters. Look how beautiful they look. That leather is gorgeous. I'm going to take these off the mat and pile them up for when we're ready for them. So full disclosure, most of my letters did fine. Can you see how that heat and bond is all still on the back of that A? But this F, when I pulled it off, the top part of that heat and bond came off. So you do have to make sure when you're pulling, you're getting all of it at the same time. A little bit of these H's lift up, but the rest of them did great. Just those couple. And I kind of paid attention from then on out and pulled them up very carefully. So there is the leather with the heat and bond on it. Now let's do another piece. Now it's time for mat 2. And remember how I said I hoped I could change the material? You can. Watch this. Where it says material set to, I'm going to click on faux leather. And now I can change it to be fabric. And I'm going to use medium fabric. And I'm going to leave the pressure at default. I just want to see what it does, right? So my rotary blade needs to go in, so I need to change that back. This should be the only time I need to do that because my other fabrics or everything else I'm cutting is fabric. There's that. Now on this one we're cutting pumpkins. So let me get my pumpkin fabric. Again, I already have my heat and bond on the back. I didn't want to do that later with these tiny pumpkins. So I'm going to put this onto the mat. I'm going to load this into the machine. And I'm excited. This is the first time I'm going to see the rotary blade cut. So are you ready? I'm going to press the little Cricut face. Here we go. Oh, it's detecting the blade. Apparently when it pauses in this area, it's making sure I put the rotary blade in. Okay, so we've cut our pumpkins and we're going to see how this looks. I'm nervous. I'm not sure this is going to work, but we're going to find out. So here's the little pumpkin. Well, let's peel the fabric off and see if it reveals it. You are kidding me. Look at that. I honestly did not expect that to happen. I figured these little thin things at the top would be an issue. My heat and bond is tearing here, so I'm going to be real careful when I remove those pumpkins. But look at that. And I need to get a weeding tool to get in the middle, but even the little middle pieces are done. That's pretty cool. Okay, so here's my pumpkin, but you notice the little frilly part? It cut it, but it didn't come off the mat. And what I think is the problem, I think it's so thin that it actually unraveled onto the mat. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Maybe it just can't cut this delicate, but I gotta be honest. I'm pretty impressed with this, and this is cut really beautifully. And remember, I have the heat and bond on the back. I just feel like that little tendril or whatever that is on that pumpkin may have just been too much for it to take. But I'm still gonna keep going and do, see, look right here. It's on this one a little bit, see that? But I think that the, yeah, see the fabric frays and it's pulling it off. So it cut it, but the fabric couldn't handle it. It's no big deal. We're still going to use those pumpkins. So now I'm going to move down to mat number 3, which is, I think it's some of my banner pieces. Will be the first time we've gotten to the banners. Yep. So if you hover over, this is cool. It'll pop up your banner, your mat to let you see it zoomed in so you can see what it looks like. That's super cool. So I'm going to leave this at medium fabric, the same default, the same rotary, and I'm going to load a different fabric on. So this is the fabric I'm going to use for the next one. This is our first little banner pieces. So I'm going to load that in. And as soon as it glows, I'm going to click that and it will cut it for us. I like this. It checks the blade every time. So if I didn't have the rotary in and I needed it, it would let me know that. And I think that's cool. Cool. That didn't take long at all. Now, I know I've said this a time or two, but I already have the heat and bond on the back of these. And that is not because I needed to bond it for the maker to cut it. It is because I didn't want to put heat and bond on these guys after the fact because they were going to be so small. Okay, so check that out. There's one of our little banner pieces. That's so cool. I should say pennant pieces. I'm going to peel all of them off and show you real quick. Look how it's coming away. Look. And my heat and bond is staying on. You do have to be careful when you first lift it because you can release it if you're not too careful. I'm going to get right here and grab the edge of it. I could be using a tool here, but I'm just using my hand. That's awesome. Now for the banner pieces, I'm going to use this Creative Essentials laminated burlap. I get this at Walmart. I have used it for years. You can see how you can run it through your printer and then cut with it. You know we're going to try to print then cut with this stuff. You know that's coming. But you get 3 sheets of 8.5 by 11. So I do have to come right here and change this to say 8.5 by 11 because it thinks it's a 12 by 12 sheet. So I'll show you what I mean. I've just put that onto my mat like this because that's the way it's showing on the screen here. And let me get that rubbed down good. I'm going to load this in. Let that read. Now I'm going to say continue. So here I'm going to have to change my material. So I need to come up to the set material area and I'm going to have to look for all. I don't even know if burlap is in here, but I'm going to go to this search and put in burlap. And if it's not, we're going to find a material that's similar. Look, one result for burlap. So I'm going to say done with that. And now it's telling me that it's going to use the default. I think I'm going to click more pressure. I probably don't need to, but I think I tell you what, we want the first try. We'll do it on default the first try, and if that doesn't work on the second pass, we'll do it deeper. I think I'm probably going to need to because this is a laminated material, but we'll see. All right, it's ready to go. I thought about this laminated burlap too. When we remove it from this sheet, if we were using, oh my goodness, look at that. It just cut like butter. If we were using a burlap that wasn't laminated, we would probably have a lot of fuzz and stuff left on our fabric mat, and I wouldn't want to have to clean that, and I know that it would be a problem. Do you see this? I could not cut burlap with my air. I do know that. I tried to cut this very product with my air, and the strings of the burlap would just catch and not cut. That's why as soon as I saw the rotary blade, I thought I'm going to be able to do stuff with products I haven't been able to do before, and I'm super excited about this. See how this piece is starting to unravel at the top? That's what burlap that's not laminated would do, and see how it left that on my mat? I'll need to clean that, but I was afraid of that, so that's why I wanted to use this laminated back burlap. The other reason I like to use this is going to be my banner, right? And if I use this laminated product, I don't get a lot of fraying, and that'll be cute so I can use the banner year after year. So that's the materials that I'm going to cut. So I'm going to just continue and cut the rest of my fabrics, which you've already seen one of each kind cut, and then we'll put this guy together using the EasyPress. So I got all my little burlap banner pieces laid out, and what this is going to say is happy fall with a pumpkin, y'all with a leaf. And I cut out extra pumpkins and leaves in case I want pumpkins and leaves in case I want to put them somewhere else. So I'm going to start with one of these orange pieces and lay it here, and then I'm going to skip one, lay an orange piece, skip one, lay an orange piece, skip one, lay orange, get my other one here, skip one, lay an orange. Okay, then I'm going to do the same thing with the green. So I'm going to lay one here, then this will be red, orange, green. So basically after every one of the orange ones, I'll lay a green one. Don't have to lay them perfect. I'm just getting an idea of how these are going to play out when I heat them all together. So there's that. And then we'll lay these red ones down. And you can see I just bought 3 different fabrics that I felt like were fall colors. So that's what this is. And then, I don't even think I showed you this, but this is so cool. I even have these little slits cut into every one to hold the twine. So the maker cut those for me too, and that's in the pattern, so I don't have to do anything else. I'm just gonna heat these down and then run the twine through. Now I need to put the letters on. Before I put the letters on, I'm gonna lay this leaf here, because that's where my little leaf is gonna go, just on that one, just to give a little extra something. I'm gonna go ahead and lay a pumpkin here, because that's what's gonna go there, just for cutesy. Now I'm gonna put the letters out. So here's my H. Don't have to be perfect. I'm going to reline these up when I get them where they go. I just want everything kind of stacked up and easy to get to. Now, you don't have to use leather for these letters, but I wanted to use another material. So I was trying to cut as many materials in this project, you know, as I sort of could. So that's why I did leather and cotton and burlap. And this is even a heavier material. It's like a canvas, and I cut it on light denim. Well, actually, I cut it on heavy fabric, which was light denim, and it worked perfectly. Now for this Y, I've got the Y, and I have a little apostrophe right here. So I don't want to lose that little guy. So he goes right there. And then all for y'all. Now we're going to go to the EasyPress and press all these pieces together. So now we're at the EasyPress, and it is heating up right now. And I'm using one of those mini ironing boards. When I say mini, I mean tiny ironing boards that you get from, like, I got this one at Walmart. It's just a little ironing board, and it has legs, but I just have it sitting on the table. So far I found that works pretty good for me. And I want to show you this. This is the envelope that came with the EasyPress, and it came with these little sample materials, a little teacup and a little piece of denim, or actually canvas. And it came with a quick cut. Oh, it's ready to go. It's to my temperature. It came with this little, not quick cut, but a quick reference chart. And it comes with a book all about it, which is cool. You know, a lot of times we've asked for these books whenever they bring out these machines. So this is really neat to have these little books to reference. And it came with a practice project sheet. So I'm going to do that practice piece with you real quick before we do my banner. So the practice sheet says to find a hard flat surface and protect the area with the Cricut EasyPress mat, which is not available yet. That'll be out at some other point. Then it says to take your EasyPress and set it to 340, and I did that. And it's real easy to do that. There's buttons at the top that say temp, and this button says timer. So I got my temperature to 340. It tells me to change my timer to 20 seconds. Just use those up and down arrows to do that. So I've changed my timer to 20 seconds. Then it says, I'm going to use these 2 pieces. Here's my little piece of fabric, and this is glitter iron-on. It says apply, and then put this over the top and apply gentle pressure. Now, a lot of people have asked about the pressure. In my experience with heat presses, the biggest thing about them is the even heat distribution, because I use an iron a lot of times to do my heat pressing. So here's this guy. I'm going to sit it on top. I'm going to say go by hitting the Cricut head and let it do 20 seconds. Then it tells me that I need to let this cool completely before I peel off the clear liner. And I'm putting some pressure on it, but I'm not like standing on it or anything. All done. Pick this guy up and move it over here. And I'm just going to slide this away and let that cool, because it's really hot where it's at. So I'm just going to slide it over there, and then we'll peel that off. Anybody else do this? You're impatient, so you fan. We're gonna fan it and get it ready to peel. It's pretty cool. It's not completely cool. Who can wait that long? Then I'm just gonna peel away. Look at that. Now that worked very well. I like how good that worked. That's pretty cool. All right, let's do our project. So for my project, I'm gonna turn the temperature down. I think that's way too high for what I'm gonna be using for my materials. At least for the cotton and the burlap, I don't need it that high. I think I'm gonna put it on about 280. I think I'll be good with that. I'm guessing there's probably instructions on the heat and bond, but I didn't read them, and I'm just gonna kind of go with this. And I'm gonna lay my little burlap piece down onto my ironing board, and then this little piece. Now let me show you when you assemble this. If you decide to make this banner yourself, you want to make sure that you put your fabric piece inside of those little slits so that your twine can run through. So just check and make sure that your twine can still fit through. You have that kind of lined up like so. And I'm gonna let this cool off, and then we're going to heat that down. Look at the underside. It's one solid piece, which I think is super cool. And I think that's where we get the good heat distribution, is from that one solid piece. There was also a picture online that showed how the like heat elements or the heating elements will run through it kind of even. So that's really cool. It does cool off kind of quick. And this whole section, even though it's still at 305 degrees, is not hot for me to touch. As a matter of fact, it doesn't get hot till I get down to kind of where that little darker edge is. So really, up here, I'm in good shape. So we're at 284, we're almost at 280. I love the digital screen. It's so easy to read and so useful. I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a heat press, and it is a dinosaur of a heat press, and it has no digital anything on it. So this is high class for me, okay? So this guy is now at 280, and I'm gonna keep with the 20 seconds. So I'm gonna take it and sit it on top of my project. I'm gonna click the Cricut, and then I'm just gonna press it down just a little bit. I'm just, look, just some pressure like that. Let it go for 20 seconds, and we'll see if that's enough. If you're using something you're not sure of, just use a, a cooler temperature and a lighter time setting until you figure out what it should be. If this is not enough, I'll know to adjust my timer or my heat for the next time. So there's 20 seconds. So that did really well. You can see that we're bonded together there. So that was 20 seconds on 280. So there's that. Now I want to add my letter. So I'm gonna put the H on, making sure I have that heat, the heat and bond side down, just like so. And I think no one is telling me I have to do this, and I probably don't. But to protect the surface of the faux leather, I'm gonna lay this over the top. Actually, I'll lay it this way because of that gilding on there. And then I'm gonna do this one more time and turn it on. The cool thing about doing it twice is if something underneath didn't stick very well, see, that's what I was afraid of right there. Oh no, it did okay. It's just because it had some of that full. But I know that that's bonded down now because I can do this, and that H is staying. Super cool, right? So there's our H from our banner. I'm going to do that on every one. So let's do another one together. And I'm going to pick another fabric to be my lay on top fabric because that foil isn't working. So I'm going to put this guy here, bring the heat press over, or the EasyPress, press the Cricut. I'm going to let it stay there for 20 seconds. Lift this up. I was worried about the foil on this fabric, but it did just fine. I thought it might stick. That's ready to go. I'm going to add my A. And again, I'm going to put some fabric over it just to protect the faux leather. This is that piece that came with the EasyPress. I'll probably use it for this, or it came with my Cricut maker, actually. I'll probably use that for everything. Oh, I didn't hit the timer. All right, I'm going to remove this. I think it's smart on that faux leather to do that. You may not have to, but I'm going to do that to be safe. And that guy is down there nice and snug. All right, I'm going to do that with all my other pieces, and we'll assemble the banner. So here they are, all ironed on, stuck down. Everything's ready to go. And I have this twine that I picked up at Walmart. Let me turn this where you can see it. It's actually jute cord. And I just got a big old roll of this because I feel like I'll use it all season. And I'm going to use that to string these guys together. So there's these little slots in your banner that were already cut with the Cricut, okay? So I'm going to feed this twine through, or this cord through, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to string these separately. I'm going to string each word separate. So I'll have happy and then fall and then y'all. And I'm going to leave a good bit of string out to the side, and I'm going to tie them together so I'll have a bow between each one. I think that'll be cute. So I'm just going to string all these on, and we'll do that. So there it is, all completed and tied together, and I'm super happy with this. Now, if you want to make this project, you could totally do this with paper on your regular Explorer machine or your Maker machine. I'm going to link the project file below. It is a Cricut file only, so you will have to have Cricut and access to use it. But I'm also going to put in the description the information about the giveaway to win your very own Cricut Maker. So be sure to open the description box to get the information for that. Thanks so much for watching today, guys. Thanks, Cricut, for this machine. It's amazing. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.